Hey guys, we're in Topeka at what convention?
Empowered Comic-Con.
They sounded so exciting. So yes, we're at Empowered Comic-Con here in Topeka, and we are Notes
And
Nerds. I'm Nathan.
Milton.
Jane Doe.
And Eric.
Yay!
And I'm sitting here with...
Brass Engine Productions.
Introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Ben Watkins.
I'm Josh and Lynn. Kristen Thompson-Watkins.
Now, we're introducing them again because we actually interviewed them at TopCon last year, but I forgot batteries, and our interview turned into nothing like listening to people talk underneath. So, first off, what is Steamworks and Shadows?
Steamworks and Shadows is a production that Brass Engine worked on back in 2013 to 2015.
Before we knew what we were doing.
Before we knew what we were doing.
I know the feeling.
Essentially, it was a steampunk web series that we threw up on Indiegogo, got a very, very small budget to work with, and we had a bunch of people with steampunk costumes, and we ran around to locations and tried to film some scripts, and now it's on a YouTube channel. And
So it's been preserved forever on the internet where we can't get rid of it.
Because nothing disappears on the internet.
no.
Archive.org. So, where are you guys all basically located out of? I mean, you're all kind of centralized in this region, right?
Ish.
That's all I'm looking for. What's your address?
We're Missourians, we're not Kansans.
Oh, so you make that sound like it's, well, I don't know which is worse. I'm Nebraskan, so I guess we're all screwed.
Yes. But
Yes.
there's corn involved wherever.
In Nebraska, there's a lot of corn.
Yeah.
Most of Brass Engine is located in central Missouri, except for our couple of extraneous crew that don't live in central Missouri.
Yeah.
Weirdos.
I couldn't wait to get out of Columbia, let me tell you.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We forgive you,
Yeah.
sort of.
Well, when you find yourself like
She did.
driving down the same street for the 10 millionth time and screaming because it's too familiar, that's when you know you should get out.
All right.
Yeah.
Until like 20 years down the road and you realize, it's so familiar, I miss it.
No,
And then
because
the next day you're like, what the hell was I thinking?
chances are all of my exes will still be living there, so
Yeah, I there's no arguing with
yeah.
that. None
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
That's why I
Anyway.
stay out of most states in the United States. 49 of them I can't go back to.
But she comes down from, fancy Kansas City to come join us sometimes for filming and editing. And most recently, we participated in a film competition where
Yes.
we were recognized for our film. Sort of like an honorable mention, but not really.
They
were
mentioned you.
We were recognized
They
for
mentioned
being
us.
both the best and the tardiest.
Yes.
Tardiest?
We didn't turn in our film in time, but they liked it so much they created a category to recognize us.
Best late film.
Yep.
That is, hey, you know you made an impression when they're like, well, we got to do something for them. Best late film?
It's like being, president of the Special People's Guild, I think.
It's like back in elementary school
Yeah.
when you turned in that school report really late.
Yeah.
Now,
you tried.
You tried. It's an E for effort.
Yeah.
What's an E? It means nothing, but you got one. Congratulations. So now I noticed you guys got a booth down from where we're at that sells a bunch of cool little trinkets like this hammer of a certain individual character that we're not going to talk about due to copyright infringement reasons and stuff. And it's really heavy, but not totally heavy because I know I'm not worthy, but I can still hold it.
Wait, but how's that copyrighted? It's mythology. It's public domain.
Not what's written on it.
Okay.
That's why he covered it up.
Okay. Okay.
Wait a second. Nah, the hell with it.
Whatever.
So,
Blur you out.
what are you selling besides trinkets?
Well,
More trinkets? Lots of trinkets?
Yeah.
And some other trinkets.
Whatever the heck we feel like making at the
Yeah.
time. So yes.
we make various accessories and things that people will like based on different fandoms. That's the kind of stuff that I make. Keychains and bracelets and things with fandom on them. And then she makes the more slightly creepy but awesome looking hand sculpted jewelry.
Like the eyes, the weird eyes.
That are always watching you.
They asked a person that we all know, a friend of ours, all of ours, that could you keep an eye on our booth? And he walks over there, grabs one of the trinkets, and goes, "Why would I? You got plenty over here."
So punny.
Yes, we're talking about you. Yes, Gypsy. Gypsy, the guy who runs TopCon in Topeka here in Topeka at the end of the year. We're going to that one.
Yay!
So,
Question number 2.
Question.
What?
Crap. Only question number 2. Crap. I didn't write that far.
You asked where we were from.
Yeah.
And your show. Describe your show. Why did it get its own category, basically?
Oh, from the film competition? So this isn't steampunk
Okay.
related. But as a production team, we entered what's called the 100-hour film race. It's a worldwide competition that anyone can enter with a fee, and
Of course. There's always gotta be a fee.
they give you 3 surprise elements: an action, a prop, and a theme. The theme being the most important.
Yeah.
And so the theme was mistaken identity, the prop was a mask, and an action was drinking through a straw. So using those 3 elements, in 100 hours we had to write, film, produce, edit, and upload a 5-minute film. And so we created a film all together. We wrote it together. We shot it together. Joshin did the editing. Kristen acted in it and did a little bit of voice work. And then I did some more sound work, and we did all our own Foley. We did all our own music composition. 100% original, and it's called Bathrobe Ninjas.
And we almost made it, but Ben started rendering just an hour before the deadline, and it took 2 hours to render.
Real special effects.
Yep. So we created the film in about 102 hours.
Yes.
Nice.
And it was because of the effects.
Ben,
You know, and she
falling
had to
off
run
the
because
chair.
she's got to do something over in the booth. So, I could totally do that whole mistaken identity thing because I never get mistaken for anybody.
But Bathrobe Ninjas is essentially about 2 guys that get drunk and decide to spy on an ex-girlfriend, and they mistake everyone they run into for potential foes on their martial arts quest to spy on their girlfriend. And so they imagine themselves to be badass ninjas, but in real life, what's really happening is quite hilarious.
they're 2 drunken a-holes, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a couple like that. Where's Nathan?
So it was really fun.
And it represents kind of a new direction that we've been taking because
Yeah.
we did steampunk for 3 years, and we've still got steampunk stuff planned for those of you who are watching and are fans of steampunk. But we also wanted to branch out and do funny stuff and do cyberpunk, maybe.
You want to be
Maybe.
multi-dimensional, basically.
Yes.
Yes, we have found a strength in comedy that we do, and we've started developing comedy for Brass Engine, and we're keeping Steamworks and Shadows, and we do have films that are currently in production that will eventually be finished as we have time. But as it turns out, doing comedy takes a lot less time and a lot less effort to find Victorian locations and era-specific stuff that you would expect for something like steampunk.
And she's back, disrupting the whole scenario.
It's what I do best. Oh, okay.
Now, you're
Awkward.
completely different. Like, last time we saw you, you had the weird little stuff, and you were doing the whole...
That wasn't me. That,
That
was
wasn't
Layla.
you? That was Elena? See?
Layla.
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 It's okay. It's all right. You know.
I know, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
people get in costumes. I get confused. I
I
don't
know.
know.
No, that was me.
It was her, but it wasn't her. You understand?
Freaking actors.
You've entered a parallel universe.
I am in a parallel universe. It's parallel to something, and it's parked off to the side, and I can't parallel park. So you seem. I mean, your little alternate thing, identity thing, stuff. It's just weird watching you because I mean you're so flighty and goofy and weird and strange, and then blah on everybody. It's funny. It's amusing because you were so natural with that, and you were just you.
Yeah, I don't change very much, do I?
No.
I'm just kind of me.
When you, I
What?
don't know, we've found through doing this, whenever you have ask people to create characters that they're going to portray for a long period of time, repeatedly, they put a lot of themselves or something they would like to be into that personal character. So you find different aspects of people's personality come out with the character that they've created.
And I tend to interview. I break character to interview from Judge because, well, Judge is an asshole, and I don't like to be asshole to interviewers, and so
I'm an asshole. Hi.
Hi, asshole.
I'm fine with it.
Well, you see, if I were a judge, I would just sit back here and just
Yeah.
stare at you.
He gives monosyllabic answers. That's not as good.
I don't know. I could run with that.
Yeah.
I could run with that.
Do you want to get into character as Judge now, then?
I'm not in the right costume.
Yeah.
It's the costume because the costume is slightly uncomfortable, so it makes me crabby, and that lets me, kind of access that.
So what you're saying is Judge is let loose right now. I'm not really an asshole.
There is
I just
no
am
Judge.
very uncomfortable.
No, I was saying I'm a method actor. I make myself uncomfortable
Yeah.
so I can access the asshole.
Yeah. Whereas Jade's contemptuous and I'm contemptuous, so
Mine just comes
I don't
It's
need
pretty
that.
much you if you were rich.
Yeah. Lady Jade is me if I were rich.
See, the funny thing is with the acting, I mean, I do a lot. I used to do a lot of pen and paper role play, and one of the rules of thumb that I always followed was much like how you guys are doing your characters, is you don't create something that you can't portray. I'm going to be this wonderfully intelligent individual with sharp wit and all this, and you start playing. It's like he pushes the button.
This is me. In like every role play we've ever done.
You get that one guy who's like, I'm going to be this kind of character, it's going to do this awesome stuff, and they start role playing it. One, the dice says, no, fuck you. Pardon,
Yeah.
I'm going to bleep that. Oops.
Good thing that's easy to do.
Yes, it is, thankfully. Anyway, the dice says, no, you're rolling a 1. And
Try being suave now.
Yeah.
That's why I like being the GM.
you walk
I get to
into a
watch
room,
them
there's a
roll the
beautiful
ones.
girl sitting across the table, and you want to have a drink with her. You buy the drink, and you walk up and approach, and what do you say? Roll your dice. 1. The hell you doing, Fico?
And then
Actually,
pour the drink on her.
I would imagine it being more like,
You threw up all over the table, and she's disgusted. But you've bonded because the GM
But
feels
she
sorry
knows.
for you.
I'm going to try and
Yes.
recover. Roll. 1.
You slip in your own puddle and skid across the floor and run straight into the wall.
No. If I was the GM, you would skid across the floor, but you rolled into some rather obese man who has very sweaty genitalia.
Somehow
Face
we
first.
just started falling into talking about
But the
fictional roleplay.
point that I was going for, ladies and gentlemen, as inconceivable as it may have been, was to compare the way you guys created your characters with how one portrays something that I could relate to, not with acting, because I'm naturally just an asshole and weird, is when you create your characters for role play.
Yep.
You create something that you can portray, because for you it was so natural the way you were acting in character, and yours it sounded more like just you with money, the way they describe you, and yours was just a really uncomfortable asshole that when not uncomfortable was just a pleasant asshole.
Oddly enough, mentioning RPGs, my character for the steampunk came from. Mentioning RPGs, my character for the steampunk evolved from an RPG character that I designed for the old World of Darkness game Hunter the Reckoning.
Okay.
And his name was Judge, and he was a monster hunter in that universe. And when we wanted to do steampunk, I brought that character into a steampunk world and imagined what would be different about him, what kind of parallels would there be. And so I already had 4 or 5 years of development with knowing the character before I ever really tried to bring him to film.
He was literally fleshed out.
Yeah, but yeah, my character actually came from the idea of creating a character in an RPG and getting to know that character and then bringing it to a media format.
Now, on the back end side of your production stuff, you do the editing, correct?
Most of it, yeah.
What do you use for most of your editing?
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Okay.
I am very much an Adobe girl, Adobe Creative Suite all the way. I have edited on Final Cut Pro. It's all right. I've edited on Avid. I hate Avid with the fiery passion of 1,000 burning suns.
Never used it, don't want to.
Just don't. Avid Media Composer.
Now, I understand that the software she just ran off, all Adobe stuff, that's not cheap software.
No.
Who did you kill? Or is that like...
I used to work for Indiana University, and I used my sweet university discount to get it.
That
Yep.
always helps.
Yes.
Student and faculty discounts. I work for University of Missouri.
Yeah.
I really could go for that
Yeah.
software.
Alternatively, find a friend who has
Yeah.
it and obtain a code,
Yeah, because what I'm using is CyberLink Power Director.
which is actually pretty decent.
For a home level, for what I'm doing and what
Sure.
Nathan does, it works great, and it
Well,
gets the job done.
The
Small
thing that
filmmaker tip?
Yeah, the thing we've discovered is that it doesn't actually matter what your equipment and your software is if you don't have taste and if you don't have skill. Taste and skill
Wait a
will
second,
get
I
you.
have no taste and I'm completely skillless, and it comes out
The
just
first
fine.
movie we ever did, he edited on Windows Movie Maker, which you can do
That's all I have.
barely nothing on at
all I have.
all. Exactly.
And nobody can tell.
Yeah, because you clip selection and clip editing and pacing, all of that stuff is completely independent of the software.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. I despised anything that was built into the Windows
Yeah.
operating system, because I always felt that those two, like Paint was useless and Windows Movie Maker
It
was...
sure can handle bitmaps really well, though.
Yeah, but that's when you get something like Paint.net or GIMP.
Yeah.
Quick filmmaking tip though. If you're looking for a software that is a non-linear editor and is free.
Wait a second, just hold on, not to interrupt. Left cheek, right cheek, what are you doing with what's in the middle? Never mind, they didn't get it. He got it.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
there's a software called DaVinci Resolve, and as a non-linear editor, it takes a little bit of getting used to as far as the workflow, but it has some of the best color correction that I've seen.
Okay.
And so for somebody that wants to do something cinematic and needs a non-linear editor that is at a professional level, DaVinci Resolve is completely free, and the only limitation is you can't do 3D movies on DaVinci Resolve. You have to get the pro version for that.
I think I've heard of that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's made by Blackmagic.
Okay.
So it's the same guys that made Lantern for custom firmware. Anyway,
Okay.
that's technical stuff, but it's a really good free
for
program
another
that you
show.
can download, and it's quite fantastic.
Great. So, why don't you enlighten our audience about the great ways to follow you guys in the social medias?
Oh, okay. If you enjoy steampunk, you can look up Steamworks and Shadows on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. What else do we have? Pinterest.
We have 2 Twitters, in fact.
We have 2 Twitters.
Yeah.
So Steamworks and Shadows is the name of the steampunk project. We are still doing some filming, but there's several episodes up online right now that you can watch and hopefully appreciate in some way. And then if you want to follow Brass Engine in general, you can follow us on Twitter at Brass Engine, or you can find Brass Engine Productions on Facebook, and we do a lot of comedy on there and on the YouTube channel. So if you like being entertained, then please follow us. And
We post a lot of
Laugh.
pretty pictures.
yeah, and we post a lot of pictures from what?
Say that again.
We post a lot of pretty pictures.
Oh, I
pretty
thought I heard
pictures.
something else. Did you hear what? Did you?
I didn't know what I heard, so I wasn't going to
wasn't
say.
sure.
Yeah, but we post pictures from cons that we go to. If we do a steampunk photo shoot, it'll go to Steamworks and Shadows. So there's lots of really cool photos. We share funny stuff on our Brass Engine Facebook page. If people enjoy, finding new content.
We will be doing karaoke at Anime STL.
Yes, we have a lot of conventions coming up that we'll be announcing soon, and we do a lot of fun stuff at conventions like cosplay karaoke, which is a lot of fun. And so, yeah, you can follow us by coming to a Midwest convention, find us on social media, go to our main website. Anybody that follows us helps support independent film and keeps us going.
All right, well, guys, you came back just in time. Well, guys, thank you for being on this segment with Working Audio for Notes and Nerds here at Empower Comic Con. So thank you very much. My grubby, nasty hands are now going to shake your nice hands and stuff. So tune in for more, guys.